Where should we begin? Should we just begin? Who's sitting behind me? Hey, babe, who's sitting behind me, eh? There you go. How you doing, everybody? Got blanked out from my last video. I'm going to start off with something really small over here, which is the center of the square. 1, 2, 3, and then 1. 1, 2, 3, and 1. I'm assuming that the number 1, that's over here. Then we go to row number 2. 5, 6, 8, and 9 is over here. Then we grow. Let me fix this camera a bit. Then we're going to go to row number 3, which is 9, 9, 9, and 9. And we'll go to row 4, 9, 9, 9, and 9. And we'll go to row 5. You see, we take this one as the center. 9, 9, 8, 8, 9, 7, 9, 5. And then we go from the center, 9, 8, 5, 6, and then 5, 4, 1, 2. That's going to cross 4 boxes at a time, starting with each one. That's primary. I don't know what we use this for yet. I have to bump into something or somebody has to say something. But what I will show you is 1, 2, 5, 4, 5, 1, 2 memory inside the fox of the sun. The cat is 24, 51 is Mars, 52 is Earth, and so forth. We just bring association together. The second thing I wanted to mention is if we go in squares of 9, we have the first 9. The second 9 will consist of 9 in the center, 5, 6, 6, 8, 9, 9, 8, 9, 9. That's the second 9. Why did I do it this way? I didn't have to separate the whole thing. I could have kept it this way, where the first 9, this is the center, or the second 9, this is the center, and this is first. I could have moved these together, but I need to separate the houses and then put everything in between. That's why Pluto runs on the edge as planet number 9, because it runs on 2 sides of the 2 cycles. It's like a key. It's like a little bearing between 2 areas. Pluto, the smallest planet, or one of the smallest planet, one of the extreme planets next to Mercury. In fact, I'm assuming that Mercury and Pluto might be the same planet. I'm unsure of my realities right now, but my thoughts are directed towards what I've done at the beginning. So when we totalize this whole thing, it becomes 7. 7 by 7 is your 49 numbers. Otherwise, we have 6, but we must split it. We split it and we put Pluto in this area. 3, 6, 9 areas of Pluto. 9 times 9 is 81, run by Venus. You see, Venus is in the center here. Venus runs down the center over here, and Venus plays out at Jupiter. So Venus happens to be the largest planet and not the smallest planet. Inside of that, okay, as you run that, area Venus, which is run by Mercury inside Venus. But according to what we know is the greatest distance that cuts in between is this angle. This angle splits apart. This angle runs in between 2 sides. That's how the X goes. X is one of the rare letters as Y, and a few other letters as Z, and I'm going to keep on going on to my letters that split one box. You can design it in one box. You cannot design the Y in one box, and I'm going to show you why. I'm just going to do the Y over here. Okay, the Y in one box, I cannot drag this corner down. I would go all the way down. So I would have to drag the Y as this because I have to stop. If I have to stop, I need a place to stop at. Otherwise, I drag it on the way through. The X doesn't need a stop. The other thing I'm going to mention, we're going to go about and do a bunch of different things, are letters in the alphabet. 1, 2 up, 1, 2 down, 1 up. The I goes up. Why does the I go up and not down? Because of this design here. This design here shows me, okay, do you see this crossing line here? I have proper lighting in here. Okay, do you see the line that goes across here, the line that goes across here? We have to start, okay, from an area point where we can get the areas. We need to put an X in between the same block to find the area. So the I would fit in between 2 areas running on X and X, the 20 worlds, and the I would connect right here, and in between here is the dot, the separation of Venus. One side, the other side, we get the dot. So we have A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, okay, is a letter that starts up here, and boom. K cannot be done in one area. K must be done in this kind of area. L must be done in this kind of area. M is automatically this kind of area. M must be square. I must be what? Standing up, I must be square because you can't get to the two sides. But H is not the same. Although there's H here and I can complete H over here, right? I can complete I over here. I'm sorry. I should have done this, right? I should have done this and kept I on a lower level. I should have just kept I over here, just like that. So where it's two wide and one high for I didn't have to go this. But for J, I do have to do this. Because if I do not do this, then J shuts off over here. Is J on the same level? Is J go up above the level? It's all questions in this calculation, but we're not going to start with that. We're going to go on to something else. I'm just jumping around showing you what we can do if we need to do it for which situation. And obviously, because I can think of it, obviously everybody else has thought of it. We're going to go into a time cycle. We need perfection. 6 times 10 is 60. 5 by 12 is 60. 4 by 15 is 60. 3 by 20 is 60. 2 by 30 is 60. 1 by 60. This one, 3.75 times 4 equals this one. This one is the movement of the gun. It is the movement of 120. If I take out my calculator and calculate 120, where is my calculator? There it is. Let me figure this out. 120 divided by 3.75 equals to 32. 3.75, 32. 32 is your doorway. These are the only two that are not perfect. 30 is 1/2. Here is 1/3. Here is 1/6. Here is 1/4. Here is 1/5. So the quarter and the half come together. But when the half comes together, okay, with the quarter, it equals to 35. In fact, it's 135 and says the ace hole. When these two come together, it's 125. It's memory in between Earth, Luna, and the two moons Phobos and Deimos of Mars. 120, 60, 90, 110, 120. Excuse me, it should have been 130, should it have not? 60, 90, 110, 120. Okay, I got that right. 147, 147, the spirit on the left side of your calculator, 147. Inside 27, which was creation. 2 times 7, 2 plus 7, will say big red. Win big red, in fact, it will say, equals 147 equals 153 because of the 0. Add 6 and minus 6. It says DNA under the ace sun, runner of the 9 lives of the cat, in the spirit of 313. Why does it say all this? Because that's what the words all say. 12 and 9 is the secondary one. 12, where do we get 12? 12 and 9 is 21. 2, 3, 5 and 6. 3, 4, 5. 10, excuse me, let me do this again. Where did I get 12 and 9? 6, 11 and 4. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And I really should be counting the ones separately all the time because 1 is prime and it always works with another number. Remember, 1 and 2 will only begin over here at 3. So let's take 90 out. So we actually have only 30 and 27 is 57. And that's the cycle of the moon. 5 times 7, 5 plus 7 is 35 and 12. The spirit runs through the cycle of the moon. It only takes one, that final one, to have the winner of the game. So now we have 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, and 8 hours, multiples of this cycle to create the day. 3 times 3 hours, okay? 3 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, and 8. 8 by 3 is 24. 6 by 4 is 24. 4 by 3 is 12. 3 by 8 is 24, creating of the day. 3 by 4 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12. And I should also have 2 hours over here, and I do not. And now you have to multiply everything by its separation. 147 times 3. I'm not using 1 and 2 because 1 and 2 is inside 3. Okay? 3 times 1 is 300. 3 times 4 is 120. 3 times 7 is 21. This is the cube. This is the 7th gate. This is 636. This is creation in the hundreds. It creates 3 sides. The hundreds. Remember, it doesn't matter what number's here. It's still in the hundreds section. Okay? It's just the association. 21 is the cube. L and I is the bed, or 3 and 9 is creation. 3 and 9 in French says the sky is letters. And it's also a representation of 93, which is inside of Saturn. 400, 560, and 28. That is the cycle of the moon. This is the light passing, the one spirit passing in 6. And 464, east-west rotation. 600 becomes 666, The Mayan date, 10 days, 24 hours. The runner of 5 and 9, E-I-E-I-O, the runner of the farm. 8, 800, this is one cycle, the half-life. This is the full life, okay? It's a star key it creates. In fact, it's 9 that creates it, but you don't have to create 9. 320 is the doorway. 56 is 2 cycles of 28, equals to the runner of 2 moons. Instead of saying 57, 57, Abraham, okay, 114, when you add 1 to 14 equals 105, when I hit 56 and 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 go together for 7 and 7, that is the cycle of 2 moons. And the planets with 2 moons are Pluto and Mars. Isn't it ironic that they should call the moons of Mars Phobos, Phobia, and Demas for demons? Cotton. When we run words that auto, the fish, right? When I run a word this way, there's many ways to run it. We can go 14, 29 going this way, 39, 49, 59, 69, or I can run it this way, 3, 18, 28, 38, 48, 58. The angel of rotation, counting this way, counting this way. When you add them all up, I have 87. Minus 6 gives me Venus, plus 6 gives me Saturn. Again, 174. Cycle of the moon, the gateway. 4 cycles of 7 of the one spirit. 68, because this is a 0, 3. This is below 10. Okay, it is 9 and below. Add 60. Becomes 68, 108, 137. This has to do with the cube. Again, a different way to create it. And this is inside the number of Nibiru. And this is the total of all numbers. 1 to 36. When you add up 36 and 1, it's 37. The spirit runs inside creation of Earth and inside the 7th cycle, the 7th gate. I don't know exactly how it works, but this is AC, DC, and this is altered current. 174 and 274, the way the numbers come out. I add these up. There's many ways to do it. You always have to add the numbers you use together. I can use this one also, but this is a change of these numbers. This is the plus and minus of this number. If I only use the plus of this number, I would have 180 becomes 186, becomes your weekday, okay, the weekend of the stick. This becomes 264 over here. That is your east-west rotation of Venus, 2468. Okay, but that is 1/4 part because it's a 2. A full part would be an 8, talking about the full rotation. We've already done that. So we did the time thing, okay? And since all these numbers, okay, 6, 6, 6, and 6, this would be 240. They were talking about 10. So they're talking about the 10, which rotates to the value of the queen and the gateway, because the Mayans have 10 days, okay? 2 cycles twice equaling to 20 days, which equals to a month, times 18 is 360 days in the month, the way the Mayans do it. Every time you have a 0, it becomes 6, this becomes 24, so obviously in this situation, they're talking about the 1-day cycle. If we want to talk about the 10, we have to multiply everything by 10 to come out to the total. This would be 1476. Add 300, I'm not sure exactly how that comes in, that 300, which would be 636, creation in 1776. This becomes 168. 168, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 168. This is a small formation, Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Look into my glasses and you see 2 of me. Thank you for watching.